And good morning to you guys. I'm meteorologist Ben Peine. Thanks for tuning in to Ben at 10 here on this Monday, December the 8th. Just had the former head of the National Weather Service on Extol Unfiltered with me, talking about all things weather and some weather nerdy stuff, John Gordon. So if you want to watch the replay of Extol Unfiltered, you can check that out. And of course, if you have any weather questions, feel free to drop them in. If you're watching the replay, again, thanks for just tuning in, and feel free to drop in a question or comments, and we will get to that. Thanks for just saying hello on a gloomy Monday morning here as the winter-like weather pattern continues. We've had a little bit of a dusting, a little bit of a light coating of some fresh snowfall this morning, enough to have to wipe off the car. Thankfully, the roads are just wet. Some bridges and overpasses as we drop below freezing here early this morning, or mid-morning now. Could have a couple slick spots to watch for, but other than that, no problems there. All right. It is a chilly day. We're looking at temperatures today that will only be topping out in the mid-30s this afternoon. So trending about 10 to 15 degrees below normal today. And yesterday was the first time we had 40s this month. So our late November, now December pattern continues to be well below normal. I'll bring up the radar and satellite, and you can see that we've got the snow starting to fade off to the east, and there's actually a tiny bit of a clearing to the north. I'm hoping we can break out to at least a little bit of sunshine later on today. But there you can see the last batch of some of this light snow moving out of Louisville, and just a little bit left over here around Bloomfield, Kentucky, there in parts of eastern Nelson County, and also Spencer County in Kentucky there around Taylorsville, and a few flurries there in eastern Shelby County. So that's pretty much wrapping up this little kind of weak system moving through. I know a lot of kids out there were probably wanting a delay or something like that for today, but no delays with, again, primarily just some wet roads across the area this morning. So that's what we're looking at here. The winter-like weather pattern continues as I bring up the forecast here. By the way, if you're just tuning in for the first time, I'd like to give you the forecast right off the bat, look at some current conditions. We'll take a deeper dive in the forecast through about 10:20 or so, and then we're going to dig into the weather models and spend some time there as we look ahead and so a lot of times look at the long-range forecast. But speaking of the forecast here, we've got your weather headlines for this December the 8th. Another cold week here for us with mostly below normal temperatures. Our warmest days are looking like Tuesday and Wednesday. And we're talking temperatures just kind of back to normal here for Tuesday, Wednesday. Snow chance for Thursday, Friday. And then we're looking at severe cold this weekend. I apologize, too, because I'm on my system. I'm not seeing the comments pop up, but I do see them on my page here. So we're not pulling it here. Now we're starting to pull in some comments. The system is just lagging a little bit on my end. So thanks for dropping in these comments. Christian, we just mentioned you on Extol Unfiltered, by the way. I was talking with John Gordon, our local former head of the National Weather Service. He went up to, what is it, Chris Kindle? Some big Christmas festival up in Carmel, Indiana. Maybe you know about that. He was talking about that earlier. So Christian Walker there again, good morning. 20 degrees there in Carmel and 24 days until New Year's. Right around the corner here. Orlean Whitlow, good morning to you from Hodgenville. Got a little bit of snow and 31 degrees right there. There are a couple other comments. Beverly Haggis, I saw your comment. Good morning there from Borden, Indiana. So again, I'm seeing a few more comments on my page than what's popping up right here, but they should begin to pop in. But anyway, let's get to that forecast here. This is a look at the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 day outlook. So this takes us through mid-December. So this shows higher confidence of below normal temperatures over the Ohio Valley and east. And then the very warm weather is going to stay out to the west of us. And this is a look at the snow coverage map. About 38% of the United States has some snow cover, which is pretty decent for early December, of course, with our recent snows that we've had. And we will get to our stupid weather jokes here in just a second. Want to take a look at a few more things with current conditions before we get There's a teaser there. That's what we call that, a teaser with the weather jokes. Robin says, wasn't looking great heading to Middletown this morning, but the snow has stopped. Yeah, thankfully a minimal impact event for us this morning. And for those of you tuning in, here's a cheers from Big Happy. This may or may not be the third cup of coffee this morning. It was an early morning. Did have to, I'd say it was about a half inch to an inch of snow that I had to just kind of, thankfully, just dust off the car this morning. So it didn't take very long. Gave it some time to warm up out there as well. All right. Bringing up to the stage here. I want to remind you, you can get your weather resources here at xtolmag.com/weather. There you can see our page here. There's our live show right now. Thanks for liking or subscribing to our channel too. Even just hitting the like on whatever social media platform really helps out the good old social media algorithm. So current conditions, 29 degrees. Feels like 20. And tomorrow is going to be warmer in the 40s, but breezier. Southwest winds around 10 to 20. And then we're looking windy and a little bit wet for Wednesday before some snow chances return later this week. You got your daily forecast that takes you through the next 7 or 8 days, and your hourly forecast for today. The 7-day forecast that I posted here earlier this morning. I've got the brand new weather story that I posted there that also has your weather history, your weather jokes, your weather countdown, all that good stuff. And looking here at your other maps and resources here all over the region. Here's the beautiful interactive map that has future radar on it. It's got dozens of weather layers. In the top right-hand corner, you just click on the orange kind of circular button up there, and it brings up all of these crazy weather layers that you can kind of play around with here. And this high-def satellite is really awesome. Look at that. There's actually a decent clearing north and to the south. So hoping for a little bit of a clearing later on this afternoon to see some sunshine finally across the area. These are the winds across the entire globe. And again, our winds will be starting to pick up tomorrow and into Wednesday especially. These are the current air temperatures. Dawson City in the Yukon, 37 below zero. So it could be a whole lot worse. Fairbanks at 19 below. Minus 20s up in northwestern Canada. And we're just kind of on the fringe. That's kind of the heart of the cold air. And we're just kind of on the fringe of that chilly weather as it makes its way down into our region. So again, there are a lot of resources here that you can check out here at xtolmag.com/weather. And below that is another interactive radar map that shows a little bit of that leftover snow starting to move off to the east. You got our air temperatures here in the upper 20s. Again, before the roads completely dry out, there might be just a couple slick spots on some bridges and overpasses to watch out for. But again, lots of stuff there that you can check out all the time. Here is another live look outside at that fresh little light coating of snow that we have out there as we look here with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation, fallsoftheohio.org camera. Gray skies, even when it's cold, it'd be just nice to see. What is it about blue sky and some sunshine that just helps the moods? I want to thank our partners here before we really dig into that forecast for helping us out and allowing us to do what we do right here. Lions Roofing. If you ever have any roofing issues, get it checked out here. They've got free estimates here online. They've got you covered on both sides of the river. 812-294-3595. They've got a career section here as they're expanding their team. And they, again, working on both sides of the river. They've had a ton of work this year thanks to the March hailstorm that crossed southern Indiana. Roofing repair technician job opening there. Speaking of jobs, you can elevate your career. You can start a career by heading over here to Ivy Tech Community College. One way, easy way to get started and making it accessible to anybody is you just head to ivytech.edu, click on the Sellersburg location, and tomorrow's Tuesday, so that means Tuesdays at the Tech. You can customize your visit one-on-one, get help with potential scholarships, financial aid, talk about the costs, student life, how to get involved, veterans benefits. And if you're ready, you can get registered, and you can get registered for Tuesdays at the Tech right there. So check that out. They've also got, as I mentioned earlier, the Angel Tree program that goes until December 12th to help out some children of students that might have some extra needs. Well, thank my buddy here, Michael Long, that's been giving us ways to save on our insurance, bundling it up. Life insurance, you've got car insurance, house insurance, whatever you need insured. He's got your back as well. You can call him 812-578-3072, or you can go to amfam.com, search Michael Long, and it'll take you right to his page right there. All right, it's time to fire up that forecast here for us. We'll get started on a light note here, our weather jokes of the day. So, where do snowmen keep their money? In the snowbank. What do you call it when the snowman ignores you? He's giving you the cold shoulder. What does the gingerbread man put on his bed? A cookie sheet. Ba-dum-tsh. Moving right along. Here's your countdown. How many days until winter? 13 days. Christmas in 17 days. Are you guys ready for it? Are you ready for Christmas? 90 days until the time change. So about 3 months. That's around March 8th. We get those later sunsets. We spring forward an hour. We lose an hour of sleep. But again, that's 3 months away. And then not long after that, springtime, 102 days. And man, it just seems with how fast this year, 2025, has gone, seems like springtime will arrive very quickly at this pace very quickly as well. Here's a look at today's weather history. 1935, Houston, huge flood with over 16 inches of rain. In 1963, in Maryland, Pan Am Flight 214 explosion. Lightning struck, causing the fuel vapor to ignite, killing 81. In 1971, in Tucson, Arizona, nearly 7 inches of snow snarled traffic and damaged 3,000 trees. 2002, super typhoon devastated Guam. And in 2005, here locally, central Indiana, a winter storm caused major traffic issues. Anybody remember the 2005 winter storm here locally? All right, here's our forecast today. 35 degrees. The snow is moving out. And so we've got just a little bit of a dusting across the area early this morning, and north winded around 5 to 10. Roads are just a little bit damp out there. And actually, we can take a look at the roads out there right now. There you can see things are quiet outside of the Extol Media Studios here with the cloudy conditions at the corner of Vincennes and Market here in uptown New Albany. But there you can see a truck coming in, and things are rolling along just fine. A snow-covered truck. Rolling right by. Back to that forecast, sunset 5:22. By the way, these are the earliest sunsets of the year through the 12th. So the 12th is Friday. Saturday, the sunset will be like a minute later. Our days will continue to be shorter and shorter through December 21st, our shortest day of the year, the winter solstice. So how can that be? How can our sunsets get later and our days get shorter? Our sunrises will continue to be later. So we're shortening the day from the beginning, from the sunrise. But the good news is, very gradually, from December 13th all the way through around June 21st, our days gradually get longer and longer. All right, back to the forecast. Tonight, 28 degrees, just a cold night, few clouds. And for tomorrow, we should see more sunshine and getting closer to normal. I got a high of 46 going. We'll have a southwest breeze at around 10 to 20. Sometimes a southwest breeze, if we get some sunshine, we can overachieve with those temperatures. There might be a few spots in the city that touch 50 degrees tomorrow afternoon, so feeling better out there. And then it will stay on the warm side Wednesday with temperatures in the upper 40s, low 50s, some light rain showers possible, and then turning colder as we head toward the weekend. Might see some light snow showers in that Thursday, Friday time frame, and then lower to mid-20s for highs for Saturday, lows in the teens this weekend. So old man winter not letting up here for us as the winter-like conditions continuing across the area. All right. And bringing back up to the stage here is the rad sat. And we're about to dig into the weather models here at about 10:14. We're a little ahead of schedule here, but radar and satellite showing a little bit of clearing in some spots off to the west and northwest. So, but this little wimpy system moving out, snow showers are beginning to fade away as they are fading to some flurries as they make their way from Bloomfield, maybe right towards the Willisburg area in Kentucky. But pretty much drying out and quieting down now across the area. So a little light, fresh snow this morning. Cheers to you guys. All right, let's fire up the weather models. First impact. Next, I would say significant impact is going to be wind on Wednesday. We might have some 30, 40 mile per hour winds. Let me see if I can fire up the, we'll go with the NAM weather model. That'll take us out a few days. Then we'll look at the temperatures with that. We'll look at the rain Wednesday and then the snow potential later this week. And we'll take a peek long range here in just a second as we head towards Christmas week with the long range GFS weather model. So let's bring up to the stage here. We just checked out the radar and satellite. The future radar is what we'll look at, which is just our weather models here. And I'm going to bring up wind gust. And so Wednesday is the 10th. And so I'm going to jump ahead to the 10th morning. Now, actually, tomorrow is going to be a bit breezy as well. So I'll go to tomorrow afternoon first, just to show you that we may have some, I'd say 20, 25 mile per hour wind gusts. So this is the wind gust map that shows 25 mile per hour wind gusts for tomorrow. So just a breezy day, but it is a warmer direction of air coming in from the southwest. And as we go into our Wednesday, the 10th afternoon, let me bring that up. That's when the winds start to pick up even more. As we zoom in here. So that's showing the potential of over 30 mile per hour wind gusts for Wednesday. So winds whipping up on Wednesday and a chance for some light rain showers as well. So let me get rid of that and bring up the reflectivity. So this is showing some of that light rain here for our Wednesday afternoon. Not a big deal. Not expecting thunderstorms or anything like that. We can P-type this, meaning precipitation type. So we're looking at if there is a little bit of snow, perhaps on the back end of this system, there's a flurry or two over southern Indiana for Wednesday evening. As this is a cold front, so it's going to bring in some colder conditions. There you can see mostly light rain Wednesday, but maybe sneaking in some flurries on the backside late Wednesday. Really no impact from that other than some damp roads across the area. Now let me pop on the temperatures and back up our view here. So there it is. This is going to be another shot of cold air dropping our way. Very much B-triple-R Burr. So this is looking at our Wednesday evening. All right. Ahead of that, though, we do have a decent warm-up before that cold front moves through. Wednesday should be our warmest day in the mid to upper 40s, low 50s before the cold front swings through our area. Now, let's bring up the GFS weather model. And we're going to go to precip type into our Thursday, the 11th. Let's see if we get anything to fire up here. All right, not much on there yet. I'm going to go to the around 7 p.m. Thursday. Not much on the map. And while that loads, I'm just checking something out here. The models have kind of had a hard time timing out this little light snow potential for Thursday into Friday. I'm just kind of clicking through it with the new update here. This is going into the 12th on Friday. And it's very, very light, whatever kind of precipitation that we get. Maybe kind of a drizzle, maybe a few flurries Thursday into Friday time frame. That shows this little bit of a light wintry mix right there. So should not be a big deal precip-wise. I don't see any big storms hitting our area anytime soon. And these comments are not popping in, so that's why I'm checking out my phone. Beverly Haggis, thank you. Loving the weather jokes. Same with Christian Walker. Christian's ready for Christmas. Erica Risotto, good morning from Charlestown. Good jokes today. Yeah, all right. So I think I got to some more of the comments. Yeah, the comments are this program that we use are not popping them in. So thanks. Keep commenting. I can see them on my phone. I just can't see them here popping into our system. So again, this is Friday. Shows a little bit of a light wintry mix potential here. Should not be a big deal for us. I'm going to just jump ahead to the weekend. So we're talking 13th, 14th. See if there's any other precip that tries to move in our direction. Not seeing much there. Going to the 14th afternoon. So this is Sunday. Pretty quiet. There's some of the comments popping in. There you go. Lillian, loving the jokes. Vicky, yeah, Vicky Dirk is very sorry to hear about that. Not like Doug Profit. Yeah, Doug loves the snow for sure. And Kathy Kreider giving her condolences. So thank you, Kathy Kreider, for watching. Christian Walker saying, I know Christian does not like the cold weather. But speaking of cold weather, that's the impact for this weekend. We're missing the elephant in the room here for the weekend. So let's go back to Saturday morning on the 13th. So what we have here is just a ton of cold air, minus 30s, minus 40s. And then some of that is spilling our direction. Of course, it's modified. It's not as cold as it is up north. But what happens here is you've got this flow coming in with the jet stream from the northwest. So we're kind of stuck with this northwest flow in the jet stream, which is keeping our temperatures below normal. And speaking of the jet stream, let's fire it up. We're looking at looking up at about 18,000 feet. So there we are. We're stuck with this trough in the jet stream. So that fills in with cold air. And the source of that cold air up in Alaska and Western Canada. Meanwhile, everybody out here is enjoying like 70s and 80s over the southwestern United States. So that continues to bring down the cold air for our area. Let me go back to the temperature map here. For those of you who like winter, I mean, this is a pretty good setup for you guys so far. So typically our red indicates 20s. Might have some upper teens, low 20s Saturday morning. Very cold and not much of a warm up. I'm going to go to Saturday afternoon. So afternoon temperatures in the 20s, maybe lower 30s south. Saturday. I will say this weekend's severe cold does not look as severe as it did a couple days ago. Still very cold for this time of the year. Oops, let me get rid of that and clear that out. And then going into Sunday morning, there's your teens. We've had a fire going inside on our wood stove since Thanksgiving Day. We are burning through some wood. I can tell you that. The most this early in the season we have ever burnt through wood. Since living at our house for 11 years. And then Sunday afternoon, the chill lingers, showing 20s, 30s across the area for highs. Keeping in mind our normal high is 49 this time of year, so well below normal. Then your next question, if you're like me, when will we see some warmer weather? So let's jump ahead to next week. I'll go to Tuesday the 16th. It's still cold over the region. I'm going to go to the 17th afternoon. Not as bad, 30s, 40s. Going to the 18th. And it might be kind of ironic. We might actually have a Christmas week warm-up. We'll see about that. This is the 18th. I'm going to go to the 19th here with the good old GFS weather model. And notice the yellow, that's a warm-up. That shows 60s out west. Going to the 20th. I will say this warm-up is delayed. So when we looked at the long-range weather forecast, not really a forecast, just this weather model data, it was showing a warm-up around the 15th. Now it's like a week later with this warm-up than what it was showing last week. That's why we say when we look this far out, we're going out on a limb. But always fun to look at that long-range weather model data, knowing that it is subject to change. So back to it. This is a look. It doesn't look like all of December is going to be frozen. That even shows 60s. Yes, we can get 60s in late December. I remember some New Year's days, Christmas days in the 60s. The only problem is if you get into the 60s this time of the year, December, January, February, former head of the National Weather Service, John Gordon, and myself were talking about this on the show before this show on Extol Unfiltered, that a lot of times you're going to pay for that big warm up in the wintertime, meaning you could get some strong storms. But that is December 20th. And going into the 21st, and that would be a strong cold front. So we might get a brief warm up later this month, surge in temperatures before another cold front moves in. Look at the contrast here. You got 10 in Iowa, and you got 60 ahead of the front. 50-degree temperature drop ahead of the front to behind the front. That's the kind of stuff you can get this time of the year. And with that, I assume there's precipitation involved, and there you go. And when you're in the 60s, you can get thunderstorms this time of the year. This shows the CAPE, the potential energy for storms, the storm fuel, which is very low. So maybe some rumbles of thunder if that happens. This is looking pretty far out. This is December 21st. But when you get in the 60s, you can get thunderstorms in the wintertime. This is showing a little bit of thunderstorm activity potential. There you can see that line right there. Again, big maybe this far out, but it just shows you that when you get into the 60s, you can get a squall line of storms that can pack some winds. Speaking of wind gusts, check this out. This is December 21st. That would be kind of crazy. That shows 50-mile-per-hour winds. Again, I'm going to emphasize big maybe here, but this just proves my point. Even if it's just weather model data that doesn't happen, that alarm should go off in your head if we make it into the 60s in December, January, February. You're not supposed to be in the 60s or near 70 degrees. When that happens, there's usually a strong cold front behind that warm up that could give you a line of some strong thunderstorms, if not tornado potential as well. So there you go. Strong winds with that front, and then behind that, crashing temperatures again. The cold air trying to win out once again. So I'm going to jump ahead to about as far out as the GFS weather model is going to go. This is 350 hours out. Cold air winning the battle once again. On the 22nd, we start to cool down, much colder to the northwest. And this is the 23rd. I think the model's having a tough time that far out, but gives you a little general idea that this is kind of crazy. I mean, that cold air is up there and there to stay. I'm curious about snow depth, aren't you? All right. Snow depth. They've got like 2-3 feet of snow up in Canada. So this is from now all the way through December 23rd, after it's showing a pretty good snowpack to our north, like 5 to 10 inches. And then just little bits of snow. So not much snow for us over the next couple of weeks, but a decent amount to the north, especially over Canada. So that snowpack and that severe cold, if that just lingers up there, that helps keep it trophy, I should say, over the eastern United States, meaning that the jet stream continues to dive and gives us these bouts of cold air. So overall, it looks like cold air will win through the month of December with just some very brief little warm-ups. Climate Prediction Center. So we're looking at this here is the 6 to 10 day outlook. Below normal temperatures over the Midwest and the Ohio Valley, warm weather out west. There's the update. High confidence and below normal temperatures over our region. 6 to 10 day outlook, 8 to 14 day outlook. See if this will load up for us. Still shows generally over the next couple of weeks, we're kind of in that below normal zone, and then the warm weather is out west. So kind of locked in this pattern where the jet stream continues to dive enough and continues to funnel in the below normal temperatures from Canada. So it's kind of the setup there for us. There you go. That's the long range outlook. That has been. All right, the Ben on a Limb segment. Bring up the radar and satellite one more time as the light snow continues to fade off to the east. So fading away. Just one little batch of some light snow left over here near Bloomfield, Kentucky, in eastern Nelson County. Might get a few of those snowflakes there in Willisburg in Washington County, Kentucky. But everywhere else is drying up, trying for a little sunshine later on today. All right, let's get to that forecast recap. Let me go back here with our graphics. And just a quick reminder, too, if you guys ever want to connect, here's my email address, ben@xtolmag.com. We've been reaching around 2 million views per month just on Facebook. Doesn't include everything else. So if you are a business organization, you want to talk about some advertising solutions, we can certainly do that here, and you can just email me, ben@xtolmag.com. NWSB has a food drive, so you can go to any location, don't need to be a member, through December 15th, through the middle of the month, helping reach a food program for kids. They're taking canned foods, non-perishable items, snacks, and dry cereals. The Angel Tree continues until the 12th at Ivy Tech Community College in Sellersburg. You take one of those tags, you buy some of those items, and you take it to Ivy Cares there at Fowl Hall at Ivy Tech Sellersburg. So our weather headlines here, another cold week here for us. The warmest days, I put that in quotes because it's not warm, it's cool instead of cold. Tuesday and Wednesday getting closer to our normal highs in the 40s. And a snow chance, very light, should not be a significant impact whatsoever Thursday, Friday, as cold air moves in this weekend. There's our, that we just talked about, the Climate Prediction Center's below normal outlook for our region. There's the snowpack across the United States, which about 38% of the U.S. has some snow on the ground, including our area. Our stupid weather jokes today. Where do snowmen keep their money? In a snowbank. What do you call it when the snowman ignores you? Giving you the cold shoulder. What does the gingerbread man put on his bed? A cookie sheet. All right. How many days until? 13 days until winter begins. That's the winter solstice, when the sun's direct rays are over the southern hemisphere. 17 days until Christmas time, 90 days until the time change, 102 days until spring begins. Weather history, I'm going to post this at noon. You can take a longer look at it or watch the replay. And today's forecast, 35 degrees. Trying for some afternoon sunshine, north wind at around 5 to 10 to stay bundled up. Still enjoying the earliest sunsets of the year at 5:22 p.m. Tonight, a cold night, low of 28 degrees. South wind at around 5 miles per hour. And tomorrow, we're looking at a high of 46. Better chance of sunshine for our Tuesday. This is going to be one of the more comfortable days of the 7-day forecast. Now, this looks mild, upper 40s, low 50s for Wednesday with some light rain showers and windy. We could have some wind gusts over 30 miles per hour Wednesday. And then maybe a couple light snow showers, a few flurries off and on Thursday and Friday. Little to no accumulation expected with that, but that cold air dropping in with 20s for highs, lows in the teens for this weekend. I will say that severe cold does not look as severe as it did a couple days ago, but still looks rather cold for us, either way you look at it. And also, want to remind you, you can also get your weather resources all the time here at xstolmag.com/weather. We've got our live show up right now. Thanks for hitting the like button or thumbs up or subscribing to the YouTube channel right there. You got your daily weather forecast, hourly weather forecast, 7-day forecast that I posted, the weather story for today, and a whole lot more. Have fun with the interactive map with dozens of weather layers. And I want to thank our partners here at Lyons Roofing, LYONS, LyonsRoofingCO.com. So you can get free estimates here online, or you can just give them a call, 812-294-3595. If you're seeing any shingle issues, gutter damage, anything, they can help you out. And you can check out all of their services, roofing, gutters, commercial, and how maybe some financial help, all that stuff. They can help guide you. You might have to work hand in hand with your insurance company. Maybe you want to see if you can get a price reduction. You can get a quote here. Tell them I sent you. The Michael Long with American Family Insurance, amfam.com, 812-578-3072. Or you can just go to amfam.com and search Michael Long right there. As I mentioned earlier, Ivy Tech Community College, powering the workforce in Southern Indiana and beyond. You belong here, as they say. Locations right in Sellersburg. And tomorrow's Tuesdays at the Tech. So if you're just curious, you want to learn more, you can just head to Tuesdays at the Tech here, and then you can personalize your visit, get one-on-one with information with a faculty member, get that tour, how to pay for post-secondary education, the 2-year programs that they have offered. You can do 2 colleges at once. Accessible, flexible is what it's all about. All right. So again, meeting you where you're at. Maybe you're a high schooler. Maybe you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, wherever at. You want a career change or just want to learn more and take a class. There you go. Lots of resources there at ivytech.edu. Final look outside at the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. Looking at a little. There was actually a little bit more snow about an hour ago. We're starting to see a little bit of melting of that already, even though it is rather cold out there in the upper 20s in most locations. And a final look outside of our studios as well, as we just have some damp roads. A lot of the cars have been driving by with still some snow on them. Man, December is being December out there. It is not my favorite start to December, but we are, again, cruising through the firewood right now. All right. So, again, thank you guys for tuning in here. A lot of the comments weren't popping in on my system, so I could pop them on here, but thanks for commenting on my page. I was just looking at some of them. Mary Dale saying, thank you. I'm glad this weekend might not be quite as bad as we thought earlier. Yes, indeed. Marcus Barnes, mild warm-up, short-lived, followed by more cold and snow chances. And just checking out some more comments. Lillian Lasley saying goodbye and stay warm. And I want to thank you guys all for tuning in here to our Monday edition of Ben at 10 here at 10:38 on this December the 8th. We're going to look at more cold weather, of course, tomorrow on the show. We'll fine-tune some of the precip chances coming our way later on this week. We'll fine-tune that temperature forecast for this weekend, severe cold, and we'll have fun with the long-range weather outlook as well. All right, that'll do it for today. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.